It was like my junior year in high school. Now look, I had a little girl. I had a little girl at the time. Let's just call her Amy. Let's just call this girl Amy. I don't want to leak her information to that anymore. She has a boyfriend now and shit. She was like, let me come to your games, and I was like, I'm injured. Like I can't even play. She's like, so I still want to see you though, cause she had really strict parents. So like, I couldn't really go over to her house. I snuck in once, one time only. That's a whole another story though. That's a whole another story. So yeah, so she was like, let me come see you at the game. So I'm like, okay, they were right. We don't really hang out. We only see each other at school because your parents are strict. So I'm like, yeah, let's hang out at the game. We could talk before a game. Get there early, get there at the J because I'm on varsity. I'm like, get to the JV game. We could talk before the game and stuff. And after the game, we can chill outside the school for 30 minutes. Solid, boom. She gets there early. Gets here started the JV game. So we have like about 45 minutes. Just chop it up before I gotta get to pre-game warm-ups in the locker room and shit. So we just chopping it up, talking and shit. And it just happened to be junior high night. So the junior high to our high school was there too. So it was like, okay, got a little so-and-so there too. Oh, we're just talking. And the junior hit kids were there. They were low-key trolling us. They're like, are y'all married and shit? They're just asking dumbass questions. I was like, yo, these little schmucks. But it comes around the time. It's time to, go to pre-game warm-up. So I'm like, bet. So I'm like, I'm going to see you. She was sitting on the other side of the bench. I was like, you can sit behind the bench if you want, and then we can like talk a little bit, but not too much. Cause I gotta pay attention to the game. I can't be distracted, but I can talk to you a little bit. Game starts. Boom. They're doing warm ups. I'm getting rebounds. So I'm hurt. So I'm getting rebounds, passing it out to my team. Outlet. And then game starts. Tip off. She's sitting behind the bench. The junior high kids followed her. Junior high kids followed her to the other side. So they're sitting with her. They're just surrounding her. And I'm like, yo, what are they doing? So I thought it was kind of funny. I wasn't really tripping. They're like 12-year-old kids. Like I'm not finna be pressed about that shit. Like what's like. So I'm watching the game. I got my phone. I'm texting her a little bit. Talking to her. I texted her. I said at halftime because I was low key like I was hurt. But after like pregame warm-ups and shit, if I left, the coach wasn't gonna like be like, where was Ellis at? Like, come on. I mean, where was SillE at? Fuck. So that's what we did. Junior Hickey's missing right there. Halftime came. She got up. They see me walking with her. I put my arm around her, just to mess with the little kids. I can hear the reaction. They're like, no. They're all like, no. They're trying to get on her and shit, I guess. So we go outside. We're just talking, having a good time, conversation, just, having a good time. And it's only us outside, but, we're still around the school. There's cameras, lights. People can walk in and out the door and shit. So we're just talking, right? We're not doing nothing crazy. And she gets the idea. She's like, we should low-key go a little bit further out. Because my school was, like, on a big property. So, like, we go out towards the tennis courts. But this is when my school was, like, first in development. Now I go to the school, like, they chop down a lot of trees. But back during this time, a lot of the trees were just up. There's, like, hella trees around the area. So, by the tennis courts was way in the back. So, you go to the tennis court, there's no cameras. In the tennis court, there's cameras. You go behind the tennis court, you're like you're practically in the woods. It's just like, because our tennis court was elevated. So I'm trying to make you picture this. Imagine tennis court elevated. You gotta walk down stairs. It's probably like one story of stairs, like 15 stairs or something. And then you got the little wall, the little place where it's elevated. You go around it, you go behind it. It's a whole bunch of trees. So that's where we went. We went behind it, whole bunch of trees, and then we're like right next to the wall. So like we're not completely in the woods, but we're like right next to the woods. And we're in like there's not really a lit area. We just kind of put our phone flashlights on. I was kind of like, why'd you take me back here? She's like, because I want to do this. Man, we started fucking making out like crazy. Like, I'm talking real. Going stupid, bro. We're going fucking stupid. And, I got my hand full of cheeks and shit. Now she wasn't thick. She was actually kind of skinny. But no, it was like she had a little butt. I was still solid though. She was very pretty. She was a very pretty girl. Very pretty girl. She was actually like a sleeper at the school because she's like when she was quiet, nobody really knew who she was. She was like it was dead as a sleeper pick. It was a sleeper pick. Like when people started because I was an athlete, basketball team, basketball, street track, D1 track athlete. like D3 basketball player. You know, I was could have went either way. So, you know, a lot of people know who I am, Ellis. You know, this is around the time of the Playboy Max video, so people knew. So, you know, they started seeing me with her. They're like, a lot of people were asking me, how'd you meet this girl? How'd you meet this? Like, who is you? Like, you really just picked up a sleeper. And I was like, she actually approached me. She asked for my information. So I was like, hey, yeah, got a handful of buns. And then she started putting her hand on my dick. Now I was like, I wasn't expecting that, cause we had never like had like we weren't freaky for real. You know, like it was like she's like an innocent girl. At the time, she was like an innocent girl. You know, like I said, her parents were strict. You know, she goes to church and shit. She was a very innocent girl. You know, we weren't on that timing. That very also she goes my dick. I'm like, whoa. What the fuck is going on? And we just keep going at it. I didn't say nothing about it. We just keep going at it. It was like this is like one of our first times in. We've kissed before, but we never had a makeout session like this. Got a handful, so I'm like, should I match energy? So I put my hand on, you know, I put my hand on the clit. You know, and she started stroking my shit, and I start, you know, getting the little finger action going and shit. And bro, I look at the time, and like maybe 15 minutes passed. You know, it's about time halftime. It's about the whole halftime. So it's like third quarter. I'm thinking in my head, should I go back or should I just? And I'm just like, fuck it. Like if I get in trouble, I'm injured. I'm staying out here. I'm not in the game. Fuck this. I'll just appear at the end of the game and be like, I had to go take care of some shit. So when shit starts going, you know, downhill, she gets a call from her dad. Where you at? I was quiet. I do not want nothing to get leaked. I'm quiet. She's like, I'm in the game. What are you talking about? Oh, well, I'm here right now. And she's like, are you in the gym? No, I'm outside. That was kind of a relief because I thought he was in the gym looking for her, but she was outside. He's like, the whole family decides we wanted to go get some ice cream, so I thought I'd come pick you up. It was like the most, because she told me after that this never happened. She never told me that never happens. So she's like, I don't really care for ice cream right now. I just, you know, I have a good time with my friends just watching the game. And he's like so persistent. I feel like he knew something was up because he was so persistent on this shit. He was so persistent. Like I was low-key getting scared because I was like, does he know like I'm here? Is he about to pop out the woods? And then he finally was like, okay, I'll just come back later. And I was like, no. And we had like a little hole in the tennis court fence where we could see his car drive off. So we saw his car drive off. We knew we had about an hour before we had to, not even probably like 45 minutes before we had to get back. So we go back at it. I actually, you know, pulled out a move. I picked her up because like she was like skinny. She was light. She was really light. I was skinny back then too. I was way skinnier than this, but she was like really light. She was probably about 90 pounds. So I'm picking her up. We're handful of ass, and we had a good time. But we started dry humping imagine this is her clit. We started dry humping like this. And all I'm saying, bro, is I fucking nutted in my pants. It was a lot. Like, I'm not talking like a little bit. It was like just a blob of nut just in my pants. And I couldn't drive at this time. Well, I could drive, but I didn't have a car. So guess who had to come pick me up? My mom. So it gets to that point where the end of the game. So I'm like, okay, we gotta go walk back. You know, I told her, I gotta go to the bathroom first and clean this up a little bit before. So I go in the locker room, team walking out, I just act like I'm there with them. One of my teammates is like, bro, what is on your pants? I didn't know it was that bad. I looked down and it's like starting to leak. And I was like, bro. Luckily as a dude, I was cool with. I was really cool. I was like, bro, I just left and went to go. This girl was stroking me behind the tennis courts and I nutted. And he was like, bro, ew. Like, I was like, chill. I'm like, let me go clean this up. Don't tell no one. Okay, so I'm gonna clean it up a little bit. No one knew. No one knew I was gone. Coach didn't know I was gone. You know. He actually asked me, he was like, Ellis, how did you think of the game? Because we won the game. I was like, oh, this is a good win team. You know, I just made up some bullshit. You know, I was like, we hit our shots and shit. You know, shit was a little shaky a little bit. It was a close game at first, but you know, we did our shit. Boom, dismisses everybody. I go out. I meet up with the girl. We're waiting for her parents. She has a life. She's 60. CC is about close to pulling up. So they were strict on her having a boyfriend. They didn't want to see me with her. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna see you. We we split. We act like we don't know each other. I act like I'm on my phone. I move like 20 steps away and just like act like I'm on my phone, just chilling. She leaves. You know. Bye. My mom comes. There's still like 7 months, and it smells. You know that smell of nut. So I get in the car. The whole ride went smooth. Until like the last 30 seconds. She dropped something. I think it was her phone, or it might have been her keys. She asked me to pick it up, so I'm like, okay, cool. I pick it up. When I go to hand her my shirtless up, because I was like taking my shirtless up, and you just see the whole scene. She's like, what happened? She's like, did you pee yourself? I'm like, no. And I was low-key in the lead. I was like, no, this is after we won, we were in the locker room, and everybody was like throwing water around and shit because we won. And then someone like opened the cap of a bottle and just like tossed it right at my pants, like it slipped or something. And she was like, oh. I don't think she believed me, but I think she just didn't. She just had that face. She knew something was up. But that was that's basically it. We got home, texted the girl later, everything went smooth. And yeah, that was a good time. That was a good little era.